Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Skylar James, and today we're going to be talking about the new oil, also known as semiconductors. They are the fourth most traded product on the planet. Only actual oil and cars are traded more than semiconductors. I'm sure you do know that semis are vital to infrastructure, defense, and electronics, of course, but these headlines, shortages, cars can't be built, president intervening, China. But why is this happening now? How does the course reverse? And what do we as investors do to make money? So why aren't cars being built? When the world locked down in 2020, car builders speculated that consumer spending would drop sharply for the rest of the year. The auto manufacturers' plan to salvage their finances was to reduce purchases of parts and chips used in car manufacturing. So in effect, they're building fewer cars. But slumping auto sales reversed course, and quickly, quicker than anyone expected. Demand soared right as the supply of new autos vanished. These car manufacturers couldn't meet the consumer demand because they didn't have the chip inventory to restart production. Today's global semiconductor chain looks like this hourglass, with inputs at the top, a choke point for manufacturing in the middle, and demand at the bottom. The Ford F-150 you want to purchase but can't get a hold of, it's stuck right here waiting for chips to be manufactured, while we're down here impatient and sad-faced. So why are automotive semis so hard to get? Because 5G chips are much more profitable for the semi manufacturers to produce, as are laptop chips. Things from these guys make these guys more money. Not to mention global powerhouses like Apple and AMD have more influence over the foundries than Ford or Ferrari do. There is a maximum amount of product these foundries can produce, and they are prioritizing the most profitable items. The collective demand on foundries is greater than they can keep up with. That is the essence of our problem. Semi-production today is truly global. It's like a planetary quilt. As recently as 2010, the US was home to 37% of the global semiconductor manufacturing. But recent advancements in semiconductor architecture and ever-shrinking chip size has left the US in the dust. Intel, our domestic manufacturing leader, failed to deliver on its 7-nanometer chips last year, and that cemented East Asia's fabrication dominance for at least another year or two. At the same time, chatter about China's relationship with Taiwan has worried many inside the US government and the American business community. Headlines like this aren't putting anyone at ease. It feels like we're one missile away from complete halt to semiconductor manufacturing. Despite this risk, 35% of global chip sales pass through China for final assembly of the device, and almost no manufacturing occurs inside the US. As it stands today, companies and regions specialize in specific waypoints on a chip's journey, and it's a months-long manufacturing journey. There's at least 50 different points across the supply chain where a single region accounts for 65% of a specific activity. In a sense, this global interdependence levels the playing field. We're all in this together, the whole global economy working together to create the chips that we all need. Before COVID, we had this same global mutual dependence for surgical masks and PPE and ventilators. When crisis hits, when demand for these products spike, relying on the kindness of your economic rival isn't a position you want to find yourself in, whether it be masks or chips. Joe Biden was speaking on the semiconductor shortage recently, and he spoke of healthcare workers wearing hefty bags during the COVID PPE shortage. Maybe the pandemic has increased our urge to be self-reliant. And if self-reliance with semis is our end goal, then the global interdependence of today is actually considered a weakness. The US dominates in one area of the production chain. The research and intellectual property for semis originates largely with US companies. It can be seen here with the navy blue distinction. And the US is the major player in the design phase of semiconductors' life, particularly of logic chips. The lower half represents manufacturing and how each country contributes. Immediately, you notice that materials and fabrication are China and East Asia specialty, hence the choke point in our hourglass. This regional allocation of duties benefits everybody in the global supply chain in terms of cost, but not in terms of resilience. And just like regions have specialties, companies have exploited efficiency by specializing along the chain. Notice design and manufacturing. Some companies overlap and are less specialized, noted here as IDMs, but they still rely on foundries for some production. Foundries, fabrication fabs, remember these are all interchangeable, synonymous with manufacturing. We also have fabless designers, well-known names like Qualcomm, Broadcom, AMD, and Nvidia. Companies choosing not to dirty their hands with manufacturing. We have the fabs themselves, Taiwan Semi, Global Foundries, and Samsung, for example. And finally, the assemblers and testers. Do you see it yet? How sliced up the semiconductor creation process is, both by geography and by firm. One firm in one country is not making all the pieces for your laptop chips. That is the bottom line. Cost-wise, this model that divides responsibility makes sense. The whole chain takes advantage of varying labor costs around the world and can lean harder on countries that pump government money into semiconductor firms. The chip creation process is material heavy and cost heavy. It involves hundreds of chemicals, gases, and materials, and 50 different high precision machines. The machines to make the chips, to manufacture them, cost tens of millions of dollars each, and that's just for the machine to make the chip. Manufacturing specifically is the global choke point, generating the headlines you keep seeing. Taiwan Semiconductor is the most popular girl at the school dance. Everybody wants her attention because Taiwan Semi produces 3/4 of all automotive microcontrollers. All of the most advanced chips, the 7 nanometer, the 5 nanometer, are produced entirely in Taiwan and South Korea. No exceptions. The most advanced chips are only manufactured in these two Asian countries. And while it seems reasonable that we should scale up US firms to produce the same quantity of semis that we as a nation consume, remember it takes thousands of inputs to produce a single semi. The cost barrier for new firms to enter manufacturing or any of these compartmentalized, highly specialized legs of the journey is very prohibitive. For the US to stand on its own, there are significant cost hurdles. These same hurdles are being lowered in Asian countries through government grants and funding. Estimates are that costs will be 25 to 50% higher for the same semiconductor operations on US soil, and the majority of that difference is attributed to overseas government spending. US firms need federal investments if they ever hope to specialize in areas that are currently offshore. China will continue investing in mainland companies to achieve this goal. And without change, we'll eventually be in the rearview mirror. Global consumption of semis is increasing 4 to 5% a year. Global output is estimated to double today's number in just a decade's time. So with semiconductor companies projected to continue raking in big revenue, which one should we invest in? You've probably guessed it already. Instead of choosing one company, we just buy and hold the sector ETF. The big daddy on the block is the SOXX ETF from iShares, SOXX, with almost 7 billion in AUM. The SMH ETF from VanEck is a solid choice as well. Two very similar ETFs, but SMH provides exposure to Taiwan Semi that SOXX doesn't have. These two ETFs are my preferred vehicles for investing in the semiconductor space. A rising technological tide lifts all semi companies. Do you currently have exposure to the semiconductor market? If you think the use of cell phones, computers, appliances, Internet of Things devices, advanced cars, if you think those types of items will continue to proliferate, then you'll definitely want exposure to the semiconductor boom that is on the frontier. I think this sector is going to be on a tear over the coming decade. If you are already an investor in the semiconductor market, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please hit that like or subscribe, and thank you for joining, and I will see you on the next one.